my trader and investor homies? It's your boy Kevin. This is Touchdown Trades, the home of the #1 stock market trading and investing channel on all of YouTube. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a super high growth stock in the solar, in the EV sector, and the EV charging sector. I am a big believer that solar is going to be a huge $1 trillion, yes with a T, $1 trillion industry in the next couple of decades. EV charging, you guys know how I feel about that. It's going to be a huge industry. Imagine when gas pumps start to get replaced with EV charging stations. Big business. How about EV? We already know that EV is going to be huge. And the company, the stock that we're going to be breaking down today, is providing crucial components to not only EV companies, EV charging companies, but also solar companies, as well as data centers. So this company has their octopus tentacles in a bunch of emerging markets, and I think this thing is possibly headed to the moon. So in today's video, we're going to be analyzing this high growth, clean energy, solar, EV, and EV charging stock. We're going to break down the fundamentals. We'll talk about why I love this as a long-term investment. And we'll also be talking about the chart in my personal investing plan. Let's get it. Let's do it. Let's break down this clean energy stock that is going to benefit from the growth of solar, EV charging, and big data centers. This stock, I mean, it's got their fingers dipped in all these emerging markets. I'm falling in love with it. On every day I research it more and more, and I just keep falling in love with it more and more. But before we get started, check out the link in the description for your 4 free stocks when you sign up with the link in the description for Webull. Webull is partnered up with Touchdown Trades to offer the community some free money, and you guys know how we feel about free money. We got to get that free cheddar anytime it's offered, that free bacon, the moolah, the dinero, the green. Get that free cheese, get your free guap with the link in the description. All right. Also, check out the link for Touchdown Trade University, all-in-one trading course, option, swing trading, and long-term investing. Plus, you get access to lifetime access to the private Discord chat and buy and sell alerts. Check it out. The stock we're going to be talking about today is ticker symbol IPWR. The company is Ideal Power. This is a company that has their fingers in a bunch of emerging markets, and we can see that the stock itself, the stock chart here, I got a one-day chart pulled up. It's been very strong over the past couple of months, from under $2 per share back here, ramping up to $10, hitting resistance, consolidating, and then last week some really big news came out right here, and we jumped up over that resistance, and we had a day where we were up over 50% on the day, and we are pulling back and trading at $14 right now. So we're going to be breaking down the news. We're going to be breaking down the product that has me really excited. I've been doing a lot of research over the past couple of days on this company, and it has me extremely excited about the growth potential and the outlook. So let's break it down. So Ideal Power, they are focusing on commercializing their BitTran technology. It develops bidirectional bipolar junction transistor solid state switch technology. I know that sounds really boring, but it's not, because this is an important and key component to not only solar, but also EV and EV charging. And they say this technology, this switch that they're manufacturing, can not only increase the distance of EV batteries, but it can also reduce the size of EV batteries. So if they can reduce the size and the weight, that's huge, but also increasing a battery's range, which is gigantic. And it can also increase the solar panels efficiency. So we're talking about huge technology, huge disruptive and innovative technology. This is the news PR that came out last week and sent the stock up almost 50% on the day. Ideal Power came out with a white paper, significant BitTran benefits in numerous electric vehicle, renewable energy, and data center applications. So here are the markets that this switch can be used for. We have electric vehicles, $1.5 billion segment with 15% forecasted annual growth. Powertrain and onboard battery charger. Due to its lower switching and conduction losses, BitTran is expected to increase drive cycle efficiency, directly resulting in an increase, big point right here, increase in the range of the EV and or a reduction in the battery size. So they're saying that this switch put on EV batteries can reduce the size and increase the range of the battery, which is absolutely giant. Further, due to its bidirectional operation, B-TRAN-based chargers enable vehicle-to-grid or V2G technology, allowing consumers to monetize exported power to the grid during times of peak energy demand. EV charging, another segment of this fast-growing market that this B-TRAN technology from iPower is going to be helping the efficiency of EV charging. It is forecasted that 1 million new fast charging systems will be installed globally over the next 5 years. B-TRAN can improve charging efficiency through 50% lower losses, improving the economics for the charging station and potentially shortening charging time for the vehicle owner. So we get faster charging and we also get more efficient charging, less energy being wasted from the EV charging stations themselves. Imagine if one of the big EV charging companies out there makes a deal with this company. We're talking about a company that right now is trading at $10. If they get a deal with one of the big EV charging companies like Blink or Switchback, then it's game over. We're talking about a company that can literally 10x overnight, and that's not an overstatement. I know it sounds crazy. It's definitely speculative because there's no news out there about this company getting any deals with any big charging companies, but they can't be coming out with PRs like this if it's not true. And if it is true and they do have patents on this tech, then why wouldn't they be able to get any deals with the big EV charging companies? A lot of people think EV is going to be the next big industry, the next big boom. And yes, in some ways I agree. EV is going to be a takeover. It's going to be taking over from internal combustion vehicles 100%. But I think solar is going to be a way, way bigger industry. Why? Because right now, we are all getting our power off the grid. And I think 20 years from now, that's not going to be the case. Why would it be the case? Right now, it makes more sense for me personally and most Americans and most people around the world to get their power from traditional sources. It would be more expensive for me to get my power from solar, but I think 20 years from now, that would not be the case. And I'd rather not have to pay a power company every month. I'd rather put solar panels on my house. And if I can get it for cheaper and be self-contained in my power source, then I would 100% do it. And I think that will be the case as solar becomes more efficient. This is going to be a huge trillion-dollar industry in my opinion. And they say this B-TRAN technology is also going to help solar panels become more efficient. Inverters for solar and wind systems utilizing B-TRANs could approach 99% efficiency, resulting in more usable electricity at lower cost to consumers. Boom, ka-ching, ka-ching. If that's the case, and once again, I am inclined to believe that is the case, and they do have patents on this B-TRAN, they are talking about a gold mine here with this B-TRAN technology. Data centers, also huge, big business here in the United States and around the world. The largest operating cost for a data center is the electricity consumption. All of the electricity entering a data center passes through a UPS system, which accounts for approximately 6% of a data center's total energy loss. Replacing insulated gate bipolar transistors currently in UPS systems with B-TRAN, iPower's product, could increase efficiency from 90 to 95%, generating substantial annual cost savings for data centers. It's very, very easy to market a product to customers if that product pays for itself. And it looks like this B-TRAN technology is going to save the data centers money. And that is a very easy way to market a product. You buy my product for X, it's going to save you X times 2. Very good marketing. Let's look at the white paper that this company put out, that iPower put out. The market for this type of power switch is expected to be $5.9 billion in 2020. We're expected to get 10% annual growth, giving us a $10 billion market by 2025. So we're seeing pretty exponential growth. The power switch market is made up by 25% of EV. So as EV grows, a rising tide lifts all boats. By default, the market for this type of power switch is going to grow. They have patents on this B-TRAN technology. And if it's as efficient and cost saving as they say it is, then they're going to be a huge player in this market. The power switch market for EV and hybrid vehicles was approximately $1.5 billion in 2020, and the fastest growing segment of the power switch market is going to grow at a rate of around 15%. Power semiconductors account for about 20% of the total electric power losses in hybrid EVs, and potentially more of the losses in total EV. So if you can cut back that loss, so if you can increase the range of a EV battery by as much as 5 to 10%, you're talking about an extra 30 miles or so, and that's huge. If you can say you have a 330 mile range instead of a 300 mile range, that is a big selling point. And we're talking about buying a switch that's maybe a little more expensive, but similarly cost competitive. So car companies are producing these level 3 battery chargers because these chargers can charge an EV vehicle in as little as 30 minutes. Okay, and using B-TRAN instead of normal switches in these level 3 chargers can improve their efficiency. So if the manufacturers of these level 3 battery chargers switch out the traditional switches with B-TRAN, the fast chargers can improve their efficiency to convert high power from the utility grid to DC for charging the vehicle battery. The economics of these chargers is significantly impacted by the efficiency of the semiconductor power switches they use. AKA, you rip out the old switches and the traditional switches that they've been using in these EV charging stations, you replace them with this B-TRAN technology, you're going to get better efficiency and faster charging times. Let's talk about solar real quick. So solar is a growing market. It's fast, exponentially growing, and the power switch market for renewables, aka solar, was $1 billion in 2020 and is growing at a rate of 12%. So we know that solar is fast growing, so they're obviously going to need the components to create solar energy. Okay, let's look at the advantage of using a B-TRAN switch instead of a normal switch. The efficiency in using a B-TRAN switch is 99% compared to 97% with a traditional switch. So if you can get 2% extra efficiency, when you're talking about a lot of energy going through that switch, how much money can you save just by buying a different switch? Once again, this is a great marketing advantage that they have, because if this product really can save 2-3% on solar and can really increase the battery's range by maybe 20 or 30 miles, it's an easy to market product because it works and it saves money. Not only do I like the product, do I think the company has potential, I also like the chart. But before we look at the chart, let's talk about the company, their fundamentals, the numbers. We're talking about a micro-cap company. We're talking about a company with a market cap of only $40 million. So this is not a company that's ever going to be a $10 billion company. It's just not. The entire market for the whole sector is $10 billion. But they have patents, they have intellectual property of a product that is just better than the rest. Just the way it is, it's better than the rest. And I think they can get a big portion of the market share. And sure, this is never going to be a $10 billion company, but it very well could be a $100 million company. And that would be an almost 3x from today's price. So we have a market cap of $120 million. We 3x from today's price. And I think that is a potential. Also, we have a tiny float of only 2.3 million shares. So if any good news comes out about this company at all, we know that there's been a ton of buying coming into clean energy, coming into solar, coming into EV, and this is a play on all those. This is an investment on all those. So if buying comes into this stock at all, this thing's taken off, and it could easily run 30-40% in just a week. We saw that last week, and I think we could see it again as investors are looking for more exposure to clean energy. All right, let's break down the chart real quick, and then I'll wrap it up by talking about what I would do with this investment, what I'm looking for in iPower. So this thing broke over an obvious area of resistance here at the $10 level, and I would love to buy from this $12 down to $10, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that gap to get filled, and I want to buy in that zone right there. That gap fill area is going to be a strong area of support, and if we break down through those lows, come down there, I think we bounce off that level, and head back higher and break those all-time highs. And that's what I'm going to be looking for. I love that their product saves companies money and increases the range in EV. It's easy peasy to market a product when that product over time is going to save the person buying the product more money than they're paying for it. So I think that's what you get here with iPower's B-Tran switch. It's not sexy. It's not investing in an EV auto manufacturer, but it is going to be a necessity in EV, is to make these batteries more efficient, improve range. And as that happens, that's when EV will start to take over and you'll see more EV cars on the highway than we've ever seen before. So I'm looking for this thing to pull back under that $12 area. Then I'll be looking for a longer term investment on this stock. And I'm putting a price target of $18 per share. 12-month price target of $18 per share on this iPower. Looking for that prior high to get broke. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the video. I thought this was a cool stock. I'm glad I found it, and I'll be looking for that $12 pullback next week. I hope you got something from it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button for me. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Just go down there, start clicking all the buttons. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until next time, peace.